Cost of Victory, Book 1 of the Unseen Scar series by C.R. Saxon. Chapter 24. The end was nearing. It was... Ferdinand couldn't describe it. There just weren't words. Darkness engulfed the room, and he walked to center stage. Taking in a slow breath, he waited for the blue spotlight to hit him. This was the second song he chose. After coming up 20 minutes short, Oya made him choose an additional song, but volunteered to fill the rest herself. Why did I pick this one? What was I thinking? It's too personal. But it was too... Instead of the violin Oya gave him, he held the one he'd made. The swirling plexiglass fog was light. Blow them away with its unique sound, and all your energy. Maybe then they won't notice. Soft, beautiful music pulled the audience in, despite unnatural tones. Metallic notes danced out so gracefully, it was easy to miss the sorrow they held. Breathing in deep, all his frustrations bubbled up. Gray clouds hung over Ferdinand's head. It didn't matter how many times he went over what little information he had. All it was ink on paper. The virus didn't stay together long enough. Frustrated, he racked his brain for why. Its instability was a key point, if he could figure that out. But the planes had little research equipment. Turning to her data. She's so weak. No, not this. Anything but this. All that came to mind were the observations Huzi offered during their last conversation. He didn't want to think about this either. He didn't want to think about anything. Everything was painful. Time to sing. Pulling a step back, he let the ancient words waltz off his tongue. Would anyone understand their meaning? Anyone but him? The song pleaded for retribution, for the opportunity to set right his wrongs. How fitting. The first time he heard it felt like daggers, spot on and with deadly accuracy. He'd been alone. If not, the repercussions of crying in front of someone made him blush as his words turned rough. The chorus came. Coarseness tightened his throat. Please listen. Please believe me. It was my fault. He screamed at them, at everyone. He screamed the songwriter's confession. What Ferdinand would give to have these as his own sins. His only sins. Doesn't it hurt? Aren't you sad in the least? John yelled, frustrated. Being sad won't change the past. It won't stop this plague. John batted away tears. A dying woman, a grandmother, means nothing to you? The one you called grandmother, the one you asked for stories from. This means nothing? Not a part of you cares at all? You feel nothing at all? Stone mask in place, Ferdinand chose his words to end this conversation quickly. There's a reason Master Mingjing asked me to do this. She knows the kind of person I am. Feelings won't stop this plague. Caring about the individual will do nothing to understand it. I was given this challenge because being challenged is all that matters to me. Don't get mad at me for doing what needs to be done. Feelings, emotions have nothing to do with what's happening. The violin's metal voice screamed alongside him, showing no mercy. Together the pair let everyone know they were wrong. They were wrong denying him the punishment he deserved. They were wrong telling him he succeeded. They were wrong ignoring atrocities and waving away his responsibility. They were wrong about everything. You missed a minor flaw in the painting. Circle it, draw an arrow to the spot. They still can't see it. I've gone over the data. I don't see it. I have no idea what you found. John stopped there, not sure where to go. They were both frustrated, and neither knew how to fix it. It's okay if you don't. It's okay if the world never does, Ferdinand responded. I was hired to see it. An honorable woman died waiting for me to figure it out. You want me to look at you? Fine. Ferdinand faced his ally head-on, but couldn't keep his cheeks from burning. Others' incompetence doesn't excuse my own, John. It makes mine unforgivable. They didn't understand. Not at all. There was something cathartic about this. His voice and violin trailed off until he stood perfectly still, arms at his side, head lowered. But the lights didn't go out. Instead, John's piano rolled on stage, playing a song Ferdinand didn't recognize. What's he doing? Oya spun around him, taking his violin of swirling fog and placed it atop the piano. One more spin, and she froze in a classic dancer's stance at the edge of the stage. Then John's voice joined the music. I know this song. Oya loves it. Only there were no distortions, just the piano. The song invited listeners to live extraordinarily. It was graceful and lovely with a message she lived. 2 words in, Oya raised an eyebrow to cue him. Not knowing anything better to do, he reached his hand out, inviting her over. The dance began, a dance with the perfect emptiness of a total void. Ferdinand followed her cues. It was brilliant. She led without showing she was leading. If only he could see them as the audience did. For as stunning and graceful as the dance felt, it must be magnificent to see. Their movements slowed. Oya leaned in, shifting to a waltz, and whispered, This song is for you. Words floated in, hitting him hard. Fight for something better. Don't become discouraged anymore, it said. It was beautiful. The music was soft and smooth. It felt like waves washing over the beach. It felt like a warm sun tempered by a cool breeze. It felt like hope. And the words perfectly reflected this feeling. These are her words. She's pleading them to me. A lead weight dropped on his heart. Intense green eyes told how strongly she wanted him to believe those words. How long did she search for this? But she's wrong. A nod signaled him to lift her. This was all a surprise for him. But why? A wasted effort. I'm sorry. She can't possibly want such things for me. I don't deserve it. The lights went out and the last two songs continued as practiced. Deciding it was best to end the show how they started, the last song was a calm duet between the piano and violin. This seemed prudent after Ferdinand screamed at them for a good 2 minutes. Hopefully it was enough to bring the audience's bombarded senses to rest. This time the lights didn't go out. They grew brighter. The audience sat in awe, or maybe confusion, possibly horror. Laughter bubbled up, but Ferdinand managed to contain it. Regardless of what happened, it was worth it. Vastly different emotions fought for dominance inside him. Is this the feeling Goya has when she's toying with people? No one moved. The audience processed what had been thrown in their faces, and the science students looked for Zhao to end the show. Left with no other choice, Ferdinand sighed and approached the crowd. On behalf of the sciences, we thank you for coming tonight and seeing us through to the end. We worked hard bringing you something new. It was fun. We hope you enjoyed experiencing this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Zhao ran on stage and winked at him. Wasn't that something, folks? Bring your hands together for everyone's hard work. I can't tell you how much we had to learn to do this. Ferdinand edged his way to the wings while Zhao talked. Before we end, I want to introduce you to the one who made it all happen. He wouldn't. Ferdinand glared at him. He put more time and effort planning and organizing these last 2 months than the rest of us combined. Ferdinand mouthed, I will hurt you, so he couldn't be mistaken. But Zhao grinned. Lord Ferdinand, come out and take a bow. A murmur rose up from the audience. Ferdinand considered leaving. He also considered beating Zhao senseless, but he chose to walk out and set everyone straight. Thank you, Zhao Zi. I'm afraid you give me more credit than I deserve. Would our actors please take a bow? Slowly, everyone who started the show on the beach shuffled forward and bowed. Ferdinand clapped, spurring the audience into action. Applause filled the air, bringing relief to the performers. He announced each group, and each group bowed to tremendous applause. There's one last person I'd like to announce. She did everything, provided us with everything. She brought us together and gave us what we needed, from the ideas to the confidence. Please show your appreciation for our inspiration and our teacher, Oya. And our meanie head. Ferdinand smiled at that thought. From amidst the dancers, unnatural red hair skipped forward, a giant smirk on her face and eyes unnervingly bright. Ferdinand removed his earpiece and handed it to her. Why did she want me to do this? Delicate hands took the microphone. Winking, she leaned in and whispered, Thank you. Good luck. He didn't know why, but his chest felt as warm as his face. Her soft expression was replaced by her usual crazed grin, and she stepped forward. Why did this feel like a self-sacrifice? Greetings, everybody. Call me Oya. Hi, Luyao. She waved to her suite mate with all the might of an excited 3-year-old. This show was so much fun. I taught them what I know, and they helped me improve my common, so I can stand here and tell you hello. Haha. I forward meeting to look... Wait. Ferdinand whispered to her. I look forward to meeting you. I think that's all. Thank you for coming. Enjoy your time with your families. Bye-bye. She returned the microphone to him, then waved and pranced back to the dancers. There it was. Confirming the language with the written and oral samples collected from her, he grabbed everything. Soon the screen beeped again, this time with the translation results. Hello, you can call me Oya. I hope to learn your name one day. Feel better soon. Why would she write that? He didn't understand the feel better soon, but he'd tell her his name. He just needed to learn her language. Ice formed in his gut. The stress had kept him from realizing. She distracted the spotlight from me. Why? Why would she do that? She values her privacy too. In that moment he loved her completely, and made a note to properly thank her. Lights! Ferdinand shouted. Darkness fell with the curtain. The backstage lights rose over. I know you've worked hard and all you want to do is spend time with your families. So, those of you who have people to be with may leave. Anyone who doesn't have someone to visit can stay and help clean up. As a reminder, the beach needs cleaning too. The last comment did the trick. Even those who didn't have family here were nudging friends to invite them along. Dismissed. They didn't need to be told twice. Everyone bolted, still in full costume. Everyone but Oya and his second shadow. Watching them run from another day of work. It was funny. Mad giggles rang out. Oya's laugh. It was pure, perfect. Every embarrassing thing he did this evening, everything she insisted on, it was worth it to hear that laugh. Her laughter was all it took to release his own. Poor John stood confused, staring at the two of them. Oya rolled back and forth on the floor. Ferdinand was just as amusing. He dropped to sit, hugging his middle and gasping in for air between laughs. Did I miss something? Lying back, still chuckling, Ferdinand calmed himself. If you aren't laughing, you've missed it. Oya rolled until her head stopped next to her friend's, her shoulder grazing the top of his head. Why is laying like this so relaxing? He didn't like being touched, being too close, but for some reason this was extremely comforting. Turning to Oya, he spoke in her native Ondo. You're an evil genius. Evil? I thought what I did was kind. What? John was lost beyond the help of a translation. Find your brothers. I'm sure they're dying to shower you with more affection than the world has hitherto seen. Ferdinand rubbed his eyes. With the show done, he felt drained. Did I really do so much? No. Acting like Oya takes too much energy. Giggles filled his ears. Peace washed over him. I don't deserve this, so why can't I leave her alone? How about you? John asked. Ferdinand yawned. I'll hide here till everyone leaves. Then I'll crawl into a hole and stay till I'm 20. Is that appropriate for a general's nephew? A woman's voice floated onto the stage. Immediately, Ferdinand rolled to his knees, forehead on the floor. He didn't say a word, but his demeanor was completely changed.